Hello and welcome back to the Bookshelf Odyssey. My name is Art, and I'm going to be participating in GarbAugust. Oh, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. That's right, this year I decided I was going to give it a try. There are a couple of books I wanted to start reading, and I've been enjoying all of the GarbAugust videos I've been watching, and I realized I can probably do this and still work on my TBR. So, first of all, if you know what GarbAugust is, you know. If you don't know, there'll be videos linked in the comments if I remember to put them there. But basically, it's a month-long celebration of literature, of books, of stories that people consider trash or garbage. Now, when I first heard of it last year, I wasn't that interested because I thought it would be more about reading like smutty, trashy kind of books that just really aren't my cup of tea. And then I also thought that it was like an excuse to have a whole month of hating on books that were poorly written. But after watching some of the videos last year and this year, you realize that that's not the case at all. And in fact, the people who created this and participate in it, most of them have a real genuine love for these books that many people would look down on and frown upon or consider trash and garbage. And for that, I can get on board with that. I have really loved watching the videos. I mean, they've been great. MJ's and Ollie's and Michael K. Vaughn and all the big names on YouTube. You guys have just been making me laugh, and I think I actually have FOMO here. Okay, fear of missing out. So I'm going to do it. I'm not really going to follow the prompts, and I'm kind of going to just basically do sort of my own thing and give it my own twist to it. But yeah, I'm hoping to do that. Like I said, I'll be taking some vacation time in the first 2 weeks of August, and I think that will be a perfect time to explore the bookshelf of GarbAugust. So speaking of Iowa Jones or Indiana Jones, my Iowa Jones, my alter ego, one of the books I want to read this in the month of August is a Indiana Jones spin-off series of books that came out in the early 90s. I just watched Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and really enjoyed it. Don't listen to critics or people screaming and complaining about it. It was fun. When I was a kid, I loved Indiana Jones very much. I only had the 3 films to watch. And then Rob McGregor and Lucasfilm, I suppose, started producing like prequel tie-in novels that I began to read. And I got hankering for some nostalgia after I watched Dial of Destiny, and I picked up a book I hadn't read in a long time, Indiana Jones and the Peril at Delphi, and just really kind of enjoyed it. I know when I read it as a teenager, I would have given it 5 stars, and according to Goodreads, I read it about 10, 15 years ago again, and I only gave it 1 star. And so this time reading it through, I kind of ended up giving it about 3 stars, so in the middle. But it was probably closer to 4, but I always tend to be generous with my stars. Anyway, I'm going to read the next book in the series, which I believe is Indiana Jones and the Dance of the Giants. What's great is I haven't read these books in 30 years or more, so I have very little memory of what's happening in them. I believe this one has to do with Stonehenge, and I'm going to read that. Maybe the third one, we'll see what I have time for. But I'm looking forward to riding with Indiana Jones again in books that inspired my love of reading when I was a kid. And this, according to Ollie's definitions, I think this definitely is considered what people would consider trash or garbage. But for me, I mean, these are great, exciting action adventure stories with one of my greatest heroes of movies or of literature. Can I call Indiana Jones literature? I think there's a strong case for it. I don't know. It's not going to win, the Man Booker Prize or a Pulitzer Prize or anything like that. But you know what? They're fun. They encourage me to read. It helped bridge the gap when I was looking to go from young adult to more adult literature. This was a nice stepping point. So I really appreciated what these books did for my reading life when I was a kid. I was thinking of what other books I could read, and then I realized I love classics. I love Victorian literature especially. One of my favorite months is October when we do Victober, which is a month-long celebration and reading of Victorian novels. And a couple years ago for that, I read Varney the Vampire. One of the reading challenges was to read a Penny Dreadful, and I loved Varney the Vampire. It was great, and that would have certainly been considered trash and garbage literature of the time period. And so I thought I would do kind of an anti Victober and read more and read some classic Penny Dreadfuls. And I found a bunch on for my Kindle that I downloaded, and this is going to be a great vacation. Another one, if you're looking to read some Penny Dreadfuls, I'd recommend is Wagner the Werewolf. Or then there's one that's the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and that's about Sweeney Todd. Those are some of the classic Penny Dreadfuls. And what I did is I went on Gutenberg.org and found some stories and novels to send to my Kindle. So this first one I got, this sounds brilliant. It's called The Skeleton Crew, or Wildfire Ned. And let's see if I can hold up my Kindle here and get the picture of it. I saw that and I thought, yes, please. This looks like the kind of book that GarbAugust was made for. It was written in like 1867, I believe. The author is anonymous, so maybe it's because it's so bad, they don't want to, put their name to it. I don't know, but I just kind of sped through the first chapter, just kind of get a flavor of it, and it's gloriously pulpy. So that would be fun. And then I downloaded a couple shorter novels and short stories. There's one called The Accidental Murderess by E. Mooney. There's another called The Curse of Persephone Templar by Patricia Miskimins. And then Getting Away with Murder by Mary Ann Verkuel. I also downloaded, since I had listened to Northanger, I'd been reading Northanger Abbey. I went and downloaded The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. My understanding of it is that that's kind of would have been considered like a trash literature, sensational fiction. There's a really funny scene in the movie version that I watched as well that two of the characters were whispering to each other about what was contained in that book, and they were acting all shocked and scandalized. It was hilarious. So I hope to get to maybe start reading that as well. And then what I would also like to do is, I might like to just do more short stories than novels, with the exception of The Skeleton Crew. I'm definitely gonna read that, and then The Mysteries of Udolpho if I have time. But I want to read some more short stories by Louisa May Alcott. And you might think, well, wait a minute, Little Women, the author of Little Women, she wrote good books. She wrote literature, and yes, but she also wrote what she called her Blood and Thunder stories, which were very sensationalized, gothic, scandalous type stories. And I've read a few of them. They're great. And then thinking more, I might also read like some old 1920s, 1930s, like pulp fiction kind of stories. I think that would fit in the category of trash. Now, some of you are going pretty hardcore on this, I know, and are reading, some pretty interesting books. And that's great. But know that, well, as the Grinch says, one man's trash is another man's potpourri, right? This is about as far as I would go on that. Like I said, I'm not really drawn to books that contain a lot of smut. I don't mind excessive violence so much, but sometimes it can be almost bordering on the author is maybe getting his kicks out of all the violence he's writing about. I don't know. Anyway, I thought giving it a classic spin would be real fun this year. And these are some books that I've been wanting to get to. I've been wanting to read more Penny Dreadfuls since I read Varney the Vampire, and just haven't had the time. So this is going to be perfect, I think, for that. And then all I might otherwise do is we'll be enjoying a lot of your GarbAugust videos, and I'll be posting videos as I finish some of those just to talk about them. Some might be short, some might be long. And I look forward to seeing what the Victorians consider to be trashy and pulpy garbage. So I will keep you informed as to how Wildfire Ned and the Skeleton Crew handle their whatever adventures they're faced with. I have no idea. I didn't even read what these books were about because they will often give away spoilers because I guess they figure once a book hits 100 200 years old, you've had plenty of time to read it. But not being a vampire, I've only got a certain amount of time to read everything. So that's what my August is looking like. I'm kind of excited to get involved in this and to participate. So if you are, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you're reading. And I'm very open to some recommendations. Some of my favorites, again, are mysteries and science fiction, things like that. But if you have some GarbAugust recommendations that you think I might like, let me know. I'm feeling in the mood to get down and dirty in the glorious, trashy stories that people have written. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, happy reading, everyone. Take care.